Hi everybody, Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. I'm going to go with a different type of content today than my usual stuff. I have been getting into a series that, surprisingly, in my research, I have found has a lot of information about. Specifically, this is a series, considering the length of the series, that has actually gotten a lot of analysis over the years. I had to sort through a lot of stuff in order to do the research for this thing and to narrow things down. This video is in honor of our friend Nate over at Hollyag Comics, who is doing extremely well. We're very proud of him. And this is a video about Nate's favorite character, Dazzler. One of the reasons I picked Dazzler for this was I'm recently getting into her because I've picked up a few books, and there I'm going to show them right now, and I've really enjoyed them. The character is a lot more interesting than I have always thought, and certainly when I was doing the research, I found the amount, as I said, the amount of information out there is insane. It took me a lot to take 11 websites worth of information and turn it into 3.5 pages of research. And that does include the synopsises for the books that I have here. But I'm going to start by showing this really cool book that came out the week that I taped this video. This is an Alex Ross cover of Dazzler that looks really keen. You know, it's hip, man. It's like totally out there. And I just thought this was this is Laura Kinney Wolverine number 10 with a Alex Ross Dazzler cover for some strange reason. One of those things that Marvel does. It really confuses me. I mean, I have Conan books with Spider-Man covers, so I think they do this sort of thing every once in a while. So, Alex Ross, of course, is one of my favorite artists, and probably a lot of your favorite artists as well. So, let's get into the Dazzler. Her real name is Alison Blaine, and I have discovered that the name Alison was actually inspired by the Elvis Costello song at the time. I don't know where they got the inspiration for Blaine, but that's what I got here for the Allison. You know, Allison. Anyway, created by Tom DeFalco and John Romita Jr., and making her debut in Uncanny X-Men 130 of February 1980, she was created to be a cross-promotional multimedia creation between Casablanca Records, whose biggest band was Kiss, and Marvel Comics. And this deal didn't outlast the year, because I'll get into more explanation later. Her first solo series lasted 42 issues, and that's the series I'm going to cover for the most part in terms of with my synopsis. It's the only series I have any books from. I do have one book from the Beast and the Dazzler miniseries where they were sort of dating, but I left that in the boxes for this because it was just going to throw things out. Originally, the collaboration between Casablanca Records and Marvel was to include an album based on a sound similar to the Archies. That was what they wanted. That was what they thought they were going to do. You know, sugar. Anyway. But the difference was there was going to be a disco beat behind it. Sorry. Originally, they wanted to design her as an African American woman with a look like Grace Jones, but after consulting Grace Jones and explaining that she would be in a skin-tight suit and have original powers that she would possess would make people tell the truth, Grace Jones did not approve of the use of anything like her image, and therefore they had to scrap that entirely, and they went with what we have now. Because of the delays of getting the book out and the details worked out for this contract, DeFalco was afraid that the whole disco craze would be over before they got the book out. And he turned out to be mostly right because by 1980, disco was basically gone. Okay? There was still some around going, bake a hot stuff. I'm sorry. But you get my point. Like there was still some, but it was on the down. Not long after her debut, Casablanca Records finally went money shorts, and they had to leave the collaboration, and they were gone by 1982 as a company, I believe. That's when Kiss moved on and got another record company. But also at that same time, Kiss took off the makeup. It was a condition of their Casablanca Records deal that they kept the makeup on because they wanted the mystique. Originally meant to be a, see what I mean by like there's lots of information. Originally meant to be a one shot. It was split and expanded. They took the first storyline, split it, and expanded into 2 issues of the new series. The first issue alone, as it turned out, was only available in comic specialty shops. Still managed to sell 400,000 copies. They went with newsstand in number 2 because that became part of the deal with Casablanca, that they had to go newsstand, and it turned out, as I said, it just still fell through. But they tried that. They went to the newsstand with number 2, and they went newsstand for every issue since. Like there was the combination. All right. Yep. Romita was replaced with Frank Springer on or about issue 4 because there are pieces of issue 4 that were done by Romita Jr. And DeFalco left after issue 7. He was the plotter for 7. He wrote up to 6, but he was credited as writer for 7 with Danny Fingerroth. Danny Fingerroth then became the writer for the series. Bill Svenkiewicz did most of the covers. Born Alison Blaine. Well, now we're going to talk about the character. Born Alison Blaine. Her powers first manifest in junior high school. She volunteered to sing at a school dance when all of a sudden her light effect powers kicked in. She becomes a professional singer using the stage name Dazzler, and it is during a performance that she meets the X-Men. She turns down joining the team and continues to hide her mutant status. But over and over again, she continuously seems to find herself in situations where her powers have to save the day. Eventually, she joins the X-Men later. Her powers are basically the ability to transduce sonic vibrations, which, by the way, are a little different than light vibrations, which reach her body to various types of light, varying in intensity and luminosity based on the strength of the sound waves getting to her. So she has a power that actually would not work in space or in a vacuum. It requires sound to work. Music turns into light. When music is turned into light from her powers, it is the most controllable for her. Unless she directs it, her light flows out in all directions from her body. Her control allows her to direct and determine the frequency of the light, like whether it's in the visible spectrum, gamma spectrum, X-ray, yada yada yada. Okay, of the light and the direction. So she's even able to make in the visible spectrum. She's even able to manipulate the colors that is there. So she could direct green light, red light, yellow light. Examples. She can also turn the light into holograms, which is discovered later in the series. And she's also becomes a skilled fighter in hand-to-hand combat. In the beginning, she's not very strong in that fighting, but as it goes, she's learning and more stuff, and she becomes more proficient. Issue number 1 of the series March 1981. So Bright This Star is called, written by DeFalco and art by Romita and Buscema. I think Buscema did the inks, or he did a couple of the pages. They're not saying, they just wrote it down. It says, they said it's a collaboration everywhere I've looked. So the story begins with Dazzler on her way home, returning from returning, and there's some man following her. Spider-Man happens by as she creates a light show and helps her fight the man off. Later, speaking to Storm, she realizes that her saying yes to joining the team would be the end of her singing career. Meanwhile, in Asgard, the Enchantress learns of a dimensional rift that she could tap enough power to lay claim to the universe. She discovers that the rift will show up at a disco on Earth. The disco happens to be auditioning new singers at the time. So Dazzler and Enchantress are both auditioning for this job, and it turns out that Enchantress created this situation in the first place by making the singer sick and quit. Dazzler ends up getting the job, and the Enchantress vows revenge. Now I don't have issue 2, which is sad because now I want it. I want them all now. It's bad. Number 6. The Hulk may be hazardous to your health, by DeFalco and Springer. This is August 1981. Following a band practice that keeps getting interrupted, they receive the news that the band will be filling in for a cowboy country act who have had to cancel at another show. On her way there, on her way home, after practice, Dazzler stops a gang from robbing people in the subway area. She is then attacked by the mob as a mutant. The next day, while setting up for the show, Bruce Banner arrives at the university they're playing at. When the band starts up the gig, Banner tries to break into the science lab looking for ways to try and stop being the Hulk. When he is spotted by security, he turns into the Hulk, who rampages across the university. Issue 7, which is a really cool cover. Fort Apache, the Hulk. DeFalco and Springer. This, as I said, this is one where DeFalco is considered, he gets credit as the writer, but he only plotted. The Hulk is rampaging through Gordon University, and while Dazzler's band flees with the crowd, she goes to try and stop the Hulk. Meanwhile, the mysterious man named Techmaster has arranged for the enforcers to be released from Rikers. Back at the university, Dazzler continues to try and stop the Hulk when the army arrives. Dazzler chases Hulk, but when she sees how gentle he is with animals, she realizes that he's not just a monster. She calms the Hulk back into Bruce Banner and manages to sneak him away in the band's van. The book ends with her trying to set up a date with her the guy she's seeing, a guy by the name of Dr. Paul. Blah blah blah. I just got Dr. Paul, so I didn't remember the last name. So Dr. Paul's secretary, by the way, likes Dr. Paul and is trying to stop them from dating. Leading to issue 8. Hell is for Henry. This is by Fingerroth and Springer. Called up for a meeting with her manager and stage manager, Dazzler is asked to reveal the secret of her light powers. She claims that is a stage secret. Later, as the stage manager Lancelot is watching another act, he is accosted by the enforcers looking for Osgood, who's the manager, Harry Osgood. And hell's for Harry, I should have said. Whoops. They leave without finding Osgood. Osgood runs to Allison for help and explains how he hired William Blitzer, who is known as the Tech Master, to do special effects for a club called Dreamland in Queens. But a generator caused a fire. Think of that great white. For those of my age, you may remember the Great White Club fire. Think of something like that. That destroyed Blitzer. Sorry, that disfigured Blitzer, and the fire in the club killed many people. The enforcers then break into Allison's apartment and kidnap Harry. Learning that the property where Dreamland was is now a supermarket, she deduces that's where the enforcers probably are, and she goes to rescue Harry. Osgood does promise to keep her powers a secret when he sees that she's there rescuing him. At the end of the book, she is forced into a car at gunpoint. And I don't have 9, 10, 11, blah, blah, blah. The next issue I have is issue 20, Out of the Past, written by Finger Roth. Art is done by Springer and Vince Coletta. Did inks. This is October 1982. By the way, the last book was October 1981. So we're moving through the 80s here. It's amazing. This is an amazing cover. I bought this one. This was the first Dazzler I bought. Why? Because the cover is awesome. As Allison's father, Carter, falls deeper into depression, and as the Angel from the X-Men continues his search for Allison's mother, Allison is once again attacked by a mugger. This happens a lot in this series. 5 issues I've got, and in 4 of them, she's attacked by somebody. During the fight, her mother's pin opens, revealing to be a locket showing a picture of her father and of another man that she has never seen before. Meanwhile, her friend Vanessa Johns finds a room filled with Dazzler memorabilia at her teacher Barbara London's apartment. When Dazzler's bandmates are terrorized by their former bandmates, Dr. Sax and Mr. Guitar, yes, Dr. Sax and Mr. Guitar, he's so good, they call him Mr., okay? Dazzler manages to rescue them. Meanwhile, Vanessa discovers that Barbara London is Allison's mother. And those are the Dazzler books that I've got out of the series of 42. I am going to finish this series. I am not going to make it a priority. I'm going to do it out of the dollar bin as much as possible because I have a feeling a lot of these are there. It's a fun series. I have to give it to Nate. This was a lot better than I expected it to be. I thought, oh, lame, because when I was a kid, I read a couple issues and didn't like it very much. Thought it was like cheesy. Disco era was ending. Actually, by the time I read them, disco era was basically dead. And I was more into heavy metal and new wave. So, and punk rock. Punk rock is awesome. But so I didn't get into this book as much as I could. And so with the hindsight, with the new sight given by Wisdom and Age, I have both, well, apparently, I have given this series another try, and I've liked it. If you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. Please tell me in the comments below if you like this, if you've liked the Dazzler as well, or if you think the Dazzler is not so good. Either way, it's fun. And tell me what you like or don't like about the Dazzler. Hell, tell me what you think Dazzler should have for lunch. It's all good. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate each and every one of you who watches and comments and takes the time to spend it with me. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.